cuties, I'm Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is General Hospital Edition. All right, guys, let's get right into it. Today is Thursday, October the 6th, 2022. And we start off, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 7.5. It was solid. And we start off with Oz, Jordan, and Robert. And he's like, I want my deal you promised me in the hospital, immunity. Yeah, that's the one I want. And I guess they were trying to, maneuver and try to get more help. He said, because, remember, Esme had talked to Oz and she told him, I see you're a bright lawyer, because he went to law school and he graduated at the top of his class. He just got involved in other stuff that distracted him from his law degree. And so he's just like, I know the law. And he told Jordan, I'm not going to hold you long. He said, listen, it's weird how it's a strange that I woke up right in time to speak, to vouch that Esme was the one who gave me, who I gave the cell phone to, and she's the one who drugged me and all that, because I was last seen with her. So he already knows something fishy went on with Jordan, Porsha, and all of that. And Jordan's just like, so Robert is just like, give him the deal. So they give him the deal. He signs it, and then he leaves. And Robert and Jordan he says, you got a peculiar look on your face. And she says, when do you gray, because it's a gray area sometimes where you get the right result, but you might have had to let something go to get it. And he says, listen, at the end of the day, we're human. And he says, I do what I have to do to get these criminals in here, off the streets. And I sleep good at night. He said that, it's not black and white. Sometimes it is gray. And you just have to say what their line is. Because she said, I've overcorrected. I wouldn't bend. And then at other times I bent too much, so she's just like, I need help navigating this. And he's like, there is no right or wrong on it. You just try to do your best to stay on the straight and narrow. And sometimes you go into the gray area, but you don't stay in it, is what I heard. And so let's move on. So then we see Miss Wu and Cody. And Selena is like, because Cody, so now that Cody has Mac as his daddy, right? He thinking Mac is going to be his dad. He kind of like, I shouldn't have made this deal with you. But so he told Selena, I don't know. You don't really need me, do you? And she said, you trying to back out of our deal? And he said, well, I mean, you owe me. And he said, I don't really owe you. You the one that beat me up and left me with $50. And she said, I'm sorry, y'all, Mila. And she said, boy, them with nothing but love taps. I said, what? Girl, if that's what y'all call love taps, don't hit me. Don't love me. Because, baby, y'all beat Cody up. And she said that was love taps compared to what he going to do if you back out of this deal. So he's forced to go ahead and do it because he's already agreed to it. And so he's like, oh. So then he goes out, he sees Dante, and he turns around, and Maxi's like, where you going? And so, you know what? I'm not going to even lie. It took a while, but I have actually started to like this Cody character. And it's not because of Britt, y'all. Because honestly, I can't stand those two together. And he gets on my nerves sometimes too, but I don't know. It's like, I like his relationship with Maxi, and I could see what his relationship with Mac and Felicia would be. And it made me start liking the character. Like, I would like to see that develop. So it made me start liking the character. I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. I know I was totally against him. I still don't see any chemistry between he and Britt, but I don't know. I like him. But anyway, she just tells him, why you avoiding me? He said, I'm not. She said, oh, so why you avoiding your friend Dante? And he was just like, I got some things going on. She said, whatever you got going on, if it would result in you not being able to be in other people's lives, or being ashamed of what you're doing, or doing something illegal, just let it go. Just walk away from it. But he can't walk away from Selena Wu. So then later on, because I went ahead and put this in here, when Chase is performing, because that's what they're there for, and plus there's a poker game going on, Selena nods her head to tell Cody to come on back. And Maxi sees this, and I said, "Go tell your daddy, girl. Go tell y'all's daddy, because that's probably gonna end up being Max's child. Go tell him, so that he can help Cody." But I don't know, child. Then we see Brooklyn, who's being replaced right now. Chase, Dante, and Curtis. And they're all there because it's this they're at the Savoy, it's Chase's big night, and they're ready to perform. And he's ready to perform. And so Curtis comes over, he tells Chase, "I'll get everything set up for you." And he was like, "Okay." So that gives Dante and Brooklyn time to talk, right? And I said, Brooklyn, 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 don't be dirty. See, this is why I didn't want them together as a couple. This is why I'm over it, because Dante said, "I can actually get Chase reinstated." Then, with everything is going on, and if Brooklyn writes a letter, for a character witness, and with everything going on, they think they have a good chance to get him reinstated because they need him. And so she was like, "But that's like months away, right?" And he said, "No, all we have to do is, do some paperwork." And like, they need him so badly right now because they got so much going on that they're like, "No, we just do some paperwork and he come back." Now, Brooklyn doesn't like to hear this because she has Chase, she wants Chase doing music, and she has his career and her own priorities that she wants taken care of. So I'm not gonna hold you long. Dante says, don't forget to write the statement and everything so we can get Chase reinstated." And she's like, "Okay." And I said, "Oh Lord, this girl not gonna do Brooklyn finna mess up something." You could already tell, and this is why I was over them being together, because if she can't, like, she wants him to be this star because it does benefit her, but she knows his heart is not in it. But she's being selfish at this point. She's being selfish about it, and that's why I didn't want them together, because I didn't want to see they're gonna end up breaking up, because she's about to do something that's or hide something. She's gonna do something. I don't know what it is, y'all, but I feel like it's coming. And this is why I didn't want them together, because I don't want to invest. I'm not going to get invested with these two. That's what the bottom line is. Nikki is not getting invested, because y'all not finna have me all like, "Yes, Brooklyn and Chase, you're finally happy." And then she messed this up. And now I'm devastated because you want to mess this up, girl. I'm just not doing it with you. I'm not. So then we see Brooklyn talk to Maxi, right? And Maxi is just like, because Brooklyn tells her what's going on, and she's like, "Well, aren't you excited? Chase wants to be a cop." Brooklyn, he's doing this, but he's mostly doing it for you. He wants to be a cop. And Brooklyn not really excited about all this. So I said, "Oh, we're gonna see what happens here." And we're gonna move on, because then Chase talks to Curtis, and he says, "Do you miss being a detective?" And he says, "Yeah, sometimes I does." He said, "But I found my place at the Savoy, and I love running this nightclub." And Chase says, "Yeah, but I don't love being a singer." And Curtis says, "Give it a little time. You might end up liking it, but I don't feel like he will." I don't know, though. Y'all tell me what you think. Then we see Porsha and Trina. Baby! Trina sat down, and Porsha said, "Ooh, we're gonna order some milkshakes." And she said, "Mama, I'm not a child. Don't be trying to order me a milkshake." And she said, "Well, okay, I'm gonna order a milkshake for myself then. If you don't have to have one." And then Trina, "We'll order me two, and don't forget the whipped cream." Girl, you know you wanted one. But she says, "But Mom, I'm not here for you sitting here trying to give me a lecture about Curtis." But Porsha said, "I have to tell you this." And I said, "All right then." And she says, "I have to tell you, like, baby, when you were going through what you were going through, it was Curtis that held me and was keeping me strong. It was him that was going to put the Savoy up and use the money, like mortgage the Savoy and use the money to, if we had to do an appeal, if you got convicted. It was him that ran down trying to chase Oz, because he got in trouble with Selena Wu. Selena Wu owns half of the Savoy, because Curtis needed to find that lead with Oz that time. So he's in debt with her. He was already, because she let her use the gambling in the room for gambling. And now he's further, because he tried to help Trina. He tried to help Trina. Well, she did help Trina. She said it was Curtis who was at the door 24/7 waiting on us to wake up. So when you sitting here trying to talk about you so grown and all that, don't forget what Curtis has done for you, what he has done for us. I said, yeah, that sounds good, Porsha, and it do. She's right. She's absolutely right. Trina was acting like a little bitty brat. I understand that she's like, don't go behind my back doing stuff. I get that part of it. But she was kind of bratty about it. But Porsha, you're holding this big secret, and really you don't want Trina to be mad at Curtis because you know you're holding this secret. Oh child, let's move on. So then Porsha and Trina go to the Savoy to see Curtis, and they talk and everything, and Curtis and Trina talk, and she said, my mom made me understand, everything you've done, and I'm sorry that I acted that way. I'm paraphrasing, y'all know how I do. And Curtis says, I want to apologize for being overprotective, but I can't. And she says, I have a dad and mom. And she was like, we could be friends. She don't want another dad. She was like, you're going to be my stepdad. But he was like, you got a dad. And she was like, yes. And Porsha back there looking on. I said, man, mama, how can you look at this? And I don't understand. Like, how are you looking at this and not feeling any type of way, knowing that you are keeping a father from his daughter, a daughter from her father? Like, you're sitting here looking at them, knowing that's his real daughter. Like, Porsha, what is wrong with you? See, this is why Jordan said you're gonna lose your man. This is why Jordan said it, but you don't want to hear it. So let's move on. Anyways, they just Curtis and Trina agreed to they're gonna be friends. They're gonna go back to being friends. It is what it is. So then we see Yuri, Terry, Elizabeth, and Finn, and so they start talking. Right, they're having a little date night at the Savoy. Everybody's at the Savoy tonight, y'all, except for a few people like Robert and him. They weren't there, but they're having a date night at the Savoy. They're having a good time, and then they started talking about where everyone was from, where Yuri was from and everything. And then they brought up, is it Renko, Finn's ex-wife. And um Elizabeth thinks she killed her. But honestly, I was like, the timeline not matching. I don't understand what's going on, because that was a young child. She was an adult, like, or was she older when Elizabeth thought she pushed her? But I thought she was talking to a teenage Rinko. But I don't know. Y'all tell me, because I was like, the math is not mathing on this for me. But anyways, she hears Finn say that he switched over medicine because he couldn't cure someone. Well, we knew it was his friend Garrett. So, but for some reason, Elizabeth was thinking he was talking about his wife. And so that's why I guess I was always confused on why is she not telling him what's happening. Because she thinks the person that he switched over to infectious medicine for was because of his not ex-wife, but his wife. But it wasn't. It was because of his friend, and he wasn't able to cure him. And so anyway, she starts grilling him and grilling him and grilling him, because at that point she doesn't know that information. And so Terry says, let's go get drinks. And Elizabeth said, no. And Terry says, come get drinks, because Elizabeth's going hard. And she said, why are you doing him like that? And so Elizabeth tells Terry the truth, that she saw Rinko at the bottom of the stairs, and she don't know what happened to her, and so she can't tell Finn. And so Terry said, okay, well, I'm gonna help you figure this out. And she was like, okay, good. What are you doing? What you want, Mila? Mm-mm. So then she says, I'm gonna help you figure this out and everything. And she was like, okay. So then we see Yuri and Finn are connecting. They're going over dogs and everything. And Chase comes, and Yuri says, seems like you need to talk to him. So Finn and Chase talk, and he's just like, oh, I don't know if I could do this, because he's got stage fright. And Finn is just like, Chase has stage fright, and Finn is just like, what we do for love. And that was pretty much it with them, y'all. So then when Elizabeth goes back to the table, Yuri and Terry get up so that they can have some time alone. And Terry and Yuri, that's pretty much it with them. They have a thing about the bar couldn't find his drink because he wanted this certain drink. And so she says, "Come help me get it." And Finn says, "Why do I feel like Terry just wanted us to be alone?" She was like, "She did because I asked her to. I'm so sorry for grilling you earlier." And he was like, "It's okay." He was like, "I know from my dad that you had questions about my, wife." And she said, "Yeah." And so then he told her who the person he was speaking of in the story that made him switch his concentration to infectious diseases was Garrett. And she was like, "Oh, I thought you were talking about your wife." And he's like, "No, no, no, no." And so he says, "I understand why you feel the way you feel." And I guess we're going to pick up on that later on. So then we see Ryan and Esme. So Ryan and Esme she's come in there to speak to him. And he says, "I thought you were dead." And she was like, "No, I'm very much alive." And she tells him about, I've been hiding out. Someone, a Canadian fisherman, found her, and so he paid for her hospital bills and for her to get, the healing that she's needed. So she's just been laying low, and then he grabbed her up and he said, "And attacking Ava." Now, is it you? Would I hear that wrong, or did Esme say I didn't do that? So I'm confused now. So I was like, so did Esme do it or not? Because she said it sounded like she was telling him she didn't do it, but then she alludes to like, "I need to find out." Excuse me. Then she alludes to, "I need to, finish some things off that I have to do." And so I'm like, is Esme doing this or does she know who's doing this? But anyway, she tells him, "Your plan," because he says, "Do we still have a plan for Ava?" And she said, "Plans change." So off camera, she tells him about, I guess what she overheard with Nicholas, Victor, and with Jocelyn and Trina about Sonny. And so whatever she overheard that she felt like was important, she tells him, and he's like, "Oh, that we can use that to our advantage." We don't know what it is because they don't say on screen. We just know that they've come up with a completely new plan, and it's supposed to work out to drive Ava right into Ryan's arms. And I'm so confused with Ryan. Do you want to kill this woman or do you want to love her? Like, what do you want with her? And and so anyways, they get to talking, and she tells him that she has a few things she needs to take care of. And he said, "I don't care what you take care of, because he believes she's a hook killer as well." He was like, "Just leave Ava to me." And she said, "No, Ava's gonna pay for what she did to me, but not right now. I have other stuff to do." And I was like, "Well, are you the hook killer or not, girl? Somebody, like, don't confuse me. Tell me the truth." Then we see Oz, which makes me believe that she's the killer. Now, as soon as we saw Oz and Jordan and with Robert, we already knew something was going to go down, because when was the last time we saw Oz? There has been no mention of him, nothing in sight, and all of a sudden he just pops up. But anyway, so he's on the phone. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be a lawyer," and all this. And the next thing we know, someone is behind him, and it's the hook killer. The hook drops, and I said, "Well, Oz, goodbye." And so he turns around and they attack him, and we hear the bracelets jingling. So I said, either this is Esme or she's made a friend that is doing this for her. I don't know, y'all. Y'all tell me what you think. But that was General Hospital today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all, it is the weekend. I know it's Thursday, but General Hospital is not coming on tomorrow. So it is the weekend, guys. Don't forget to be safe, be blessed, enjoy yourselves. And I will see you Monday for all new episodes of What Happened on the Soaps General Hospital edition. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.